Welcome back to Under Oath. I'm your host, Jeff Kaufman. This is my partner, James John. His wife is going, co-host, God.
I was going to say, in a biblical sense.
I love saying that and listening to the audience go, I wonder. James does sound kind of light.
I do. You know, people see us around town, right? We go out to lunch and stuff, and we look like a couple.
Black, white. Heaven, no, it's human nature. No.
I just thought about that. We are seen out having lunch all the time. People must think, oh, they must be
a couple?
Yeah.
Well, we bring Craig. What is he? They're going, well, he's the top, definitely. I got a buddy of mine who goes, he was dating this young girl. And he goes, she's into this stuff. Could you come with me to pick up a toy that she wants?
He brought you with him?
Yeah. Because we were on the way to get some coffee. And he goes, well, while we're at it, can we stop off? And I'm going, where do I go to get coffee that the sex shop would be somewhere between coffee and my office? So I go into this store with him.
Yeah.
And we're walking around and I'm looking at these, let's say, apparatuses of enjoyment for women.
Yes.
And there's a whole wall. Mm-hmm. And I could see the cheap stuff and the more expensive stuff.
There's a difference.
There's a big difference. Don't go cheap with something you're putting inside you.
You don't want something that takes batteries.
No.
Get something that takes gasoline.
Well, no. You have the batteries on the inside. They're chargeables and stuff.
Okay, got it.
But then you got to start thinking about it. And me, I'm a smart guy. I'm sorry. I'm a smart guy. I go, well, how long does it last and everything? And the woman comes to help us.
How long does it last?
And we're about 20 minutes in and I'm asking her all the questions. Where's this from? Does it come here? Will it charge? Does it require lube? I'm going over everything.
Wow.
We finally decide on this high quality toy.
He said Tesla?
And yeah, it's solar. It's great.
Got it.
And we walk out and we get in the car and it hits me. I bet this woman thought we were a couple.
Yes, man. Because you're talking about
Yes.
Yes.
I was trying to be helpful.
You
and
were.
I realized I sound like this was going up my butt.
Oh, wow.
And I was not keen to that concept.
After you left and you realized.
And I was sitting there going, huh.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, what is wrong with me? What is absolutely wrong with me that this is an absolutely normal situation for me to be in?
You know what it is? Because you made a decision years ago to say yes to things.
Yeah.
You made a decision to be, okay, I'll try new things. So you said going to the store, that kind of store, with my male friend to help pick out an apparatus for his wife, I'll do it. I don't do this very often.
It's the law that did this to me.
The law.
The law did it to me. And the military too.
And
growing up in my house.
Okay.
I'm not shocked by anything anymore.
You're desensitized.
I'm absolutely desensitized.
That's what it is.
Nothing embarrasses me anymore. Nothing shocks me. Nothing surprises me. Every once in a while, somebody will do something. I go, yeah, that's a little out there.
That's a
little out there.
And is it because everything that you've heard in like court cases and stuff, you've heard too much?
I have seen too much.
Yeah, you have.
I have seen. When you're buried in somebody's life, you see everything and they tell you everything. And it has to be normal to you. Or you won't be able to do your job.
Got to get past it.
When you deal with insanity and you're going, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I've seen evil and I've seen good. And everything in between is just fluff.
Got it.
Somebody will do something and I'll say, okay, that makes sense to me. Sometimes it's just math. It's all about, well, if I felt this way and my brain worked this way, would this be okay? And the answer is yes for some people.
And here's how I know you're absolutely right. You know who else gets desensitized? And you did a little bit of this as well? Doctors. I have doctors in my family. They will come tell me about their day because I'll ask like an idiot and they'll tell me, especially if you're an ER doctor, they will tell me the horrific things that they have seen happen throughout their 8-hour or 12-hour day. And it be the most gnarly thing you can hear. And they got to get up and do it again. And they're perfectly fine. Like you got to have a special personality to be able to do that job.
Yeah. I think there's a psychosis in most doctors.
You think so?
Yeah.
They just at some point.
I think you have to close down some humanity.
Something
and people
shuts
go,
down.
well, no, you don't have doctor. No.
No.
Because here's the thing. Let's say you marry a dude. And let's say he's a gynecologist.
Yep.
This is a dude who looks at 10 to 20 different hoo-has every day.
Every single day.
Every single day.
Yes.
And he's still willing to have sex with you.
So there has to be a part of him who what do you call it? Compartmentalizes that part of his job.
Shuts it down.
Just shuts it down.
Shuts it down. Because here's my special woman, she watches a lot of murder porn. You know, those.
Oh, true crime. She loves that. Oh my
I call it murder porn.
Why do they love that so much?
Because they don't. How can I say it? It seems like a story to them.
Like they're living out a fantasy watching that.
It's like TV. It's not real.
Gotcha.
But it is real.
It is
and
real.
I know it's real because I've been involved in it.
Some of those cases, yeah.
You know, so she goes, do you want to say, no, I don't.
I don't.
See, that's why the world is what it is. And we all have to accept people's lunacy.
Yeah.
Because if you're a doctor and you come home and you go, yeah, I'm good. No, you are a liar.
Yeah.
You are constantly lying to yourself. This body I'm working on is a car. It's not a human being. If I talk to you in your room, you're a human being. But when I'm working on you, you are a car.
Gotcha. You are a job.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I was a medic in the Army.
You were. That's why I say that. You were.
And I had some bad stuff happen.
You had to shut some stuff down.
Well,
to keep going,
I couldn't.
Right?
That was the problem.
Got it.
I had a person die on me, and it lasted 3, 4, 5 weeks, and it kept haunting me. Could I have done something? Would I? And a doctor's got to just accept. Okay, this is life.
And that's the crazy part. You had to get good with it, not because you had to get good at it because you had to keep going. You had to keep doing the same thing over and over again.
You got to lie to yourself a lot.
You do.
Got to lie to yourself a lot,
Yes.
and that happens with the law too. If you do a lot of criminal offense, the biggest lie you tell yourself when you do criminal offense is this: everyone has a right to justice.
Because you see some nasty individuals.
There are some bad people. And they're going to go, well, the one person who gets found not guilty when he should have been innocent, shut up.
Yeah.
There's a negativity that sits on you. And every criminal defense attorney I know who's been doing it for 10, 20 years.
It's hard.
You see it in them.
Yeah.
And my firm did it for about 7 years. And the day I took my last criminal case, that darkness left me.
I was going to say, you got out of it. You said, you know what? I'm going over
And
here.
I was good at it.
I understand.
I was really good, but I had lied to myself for years. And there are a lot of criminal defense attorneys who are going to say, Jeff, you don't get it.
Yes, I do.
The reason why criminal defense attorneys make mistakes is because they're so used to having clients pay less than they should.
Got it.
And their whole goal is this: client could have done it, but my job is to get them the best deal.
Correct.
Not whether they deserve it.
But you have a job to do.
My job is to get them the best deal, not to get them a fair deal. Oh, well, this would be fair. Well, if I can get them less, that's
what I do.
And we pride ourselves on that.
Correct.
You know, we used to pride ourselves. Oh, I walked in, the case was terrible, and I got the not guilty. And I know a lot of people have to lie to themselves that their clients are innocent to move forward. And I knew a young lady who acted like that, and every client was not guilty because she couldn't, in her mind, work for somebody if she felt they were guilty.
I get it. I understand that.
And I'll give you bad news. If you're a criminal defense attorney, about 50% of your clients.
That would be unbelievable to have to deal with every day in your head. Yeah. And I got to justify representing you. Man, that would mess me up.
But it's just you lock it in. Yeah. It's the same with a doctor. You lock it in, but eventually it causes negativity in your life. You start thinking, a lot of people in that position start thinking, well, I can get away with something. Whether it be cheating on my wife or cheating on different things, because, you know, I walk people all the time. And I saw some of the worst people I know could be doctors, lawyers, and other professionals when it's their job to allow people to, I mean, imagine you're a doctor, okay? Serial killer comes on your table.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm going to save his life? Well, that's my duty.
Correct. That's my oath I took.
It's that idea. Can kill Hitler as a baby.
That couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Tough call.
It is.
But for a lot of people, it's not.
Yeah.
A lot of people go logically, yes, it's a good idea.
I couldn't do it.
As a doctor, if I walked in and I knew this person, for example, I had a guy come in my office. First thing he says is, he goes, I want the Jew to represent me.
That's what he leads with. I want the Jew to represent me. And
I had locked in for a long time that my job was to help people, even if they were bad. And I'm doing his deposition. He shows up to deposition. He's got a big swastika on his forearm. Big tattoo swastika on his forearm.
Okay.
And he goes, oh, I got this during a younger time. It's not personal.
It's pretty damn personal to me.
I said, my advice is wear long sleeve shirts when we go to court.
Dang.
I got him a great deal.
Wow.
And he was a bad dude.
And you knew that?
He SA'd a special needs kid.
Oh, come on.
And I was good. I was real good back then. And I got him this great sweetheart deal.
Jesus.
And when he walked away, I'm going, please just walk into traffic.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know, now that I didn't represent you anymore, please, maybe a semi will hit this dude.
How disgusting.
Yeah. And anybody who says that they don't have to feel that way is on the pipe.
Got it.
And I don't care how good you are. I'm a good person. Shut up.
Yeah.
You're all bad people in the end when it affects you.
Yeah.
I know because I've represented you.
Got you.
I
couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, man.
I mean, I see it all the time in the personal injury work I do. The other side, oh no, I did it. I'm so sorry. And the minute this person tries to get his medical benefits, I didn't do it. I wasn't even there.
Got it.
People are selfish, and it's a shame. But when it comes to stuff like this, you got to be aware of it, and you just have to move on. We are about to offend every pet owner in the building.
Oh, good.
We're going to do it.
I do love offending
I love
people.
my dogs. I love my cats.
You love cats?
You know what? When they're not mine, they're like kids. They're around for 2 seconds. You just let them go.
No, they're not like kids.
No, I don't mind.
Cats despise everyone.
You?
They despise everyone.
You?
They despise their owners. They despise me.
Cats like
they
me.
despise children. They don't like anybody or anything.
So
if
tell
you
me,
happen to have
tell me
food,
the
they'll
cat that
tolerate.
broke your heart. Tell me about this right now. Her name was Claudia. We called her Muff Muff.
They are incapable of love.
Muff Muff.
Cats look at us as giant food that they can't eat. That's what happens.
Okay. I'm right about to get a call. It's a Zoom call in about a half hour. I have already been informed about this, about a person who wants custody over their pet. Now, I'm a accident attorney, but I get called on a lot of different things, and I give a lot of different advice. And I had to look at, even though I'm not licensed in California, this is a California cat. So I just wanted to get some basic thing before I send her off to an attorney in California.
It would not surprise me if the cat had rights in California.
Let me tell you exactly what rights cats having, and dogs, and other pets, including snakes, rats, bunnies, you name it, goats.
They have rights.
Okay, here's it.
They have enforceable rights.
In custody, I'm going to say it, in the last 6 years, the laws have been changed.
Of course they have.
And now the judge can take into consideration best interest of the pet. How the pet feels. The emotional attachment. Who spends more time with the pet? That the pet might not be comfortable with the person doesn't spend the most time with.
You know where this is going, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I have an expert. It's my dog psychiatrist.
Oh, God.
And my dog psychiatrist opinion is that my dog would be better off with me emotionally. That's where it's going.
No,
Only
I
in
have my own
California.
expert. I got my own expert.
Only in California.
My own expert who spent 20 minutes with the dog has their own opinion. Now, I'm going to tell you people something, which is the worst part about this. These experts are going to get tens of thousands of dollars.
No, I was just joking.
To testify. No, they will.
I
They'll be
was
experts.
trying to be funny.
No, you're not.
This is not.
Oh, they're
This
experts.
is an actual thing.
Yes, they're a pet therapist, and they will be
I
testifying.
thought I was completely
No, they're
joking.
testifying.
That is.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth. Could you give your degrees, please? I'm a Harvard vet.
That is unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
I was totally
Could you imagine us
just making this up.
deposing the pet therapist? How many times do you testify on cases like this? Oh, you normally testify for the plaintiff or the defendant? Oh, my God.
Well,
How do you do that with a straight face? We would. But how do you even do it? If you're an attorney in California, just give it up. Just give it up. The idea that you are serious.
I went through this many years of law school, passed the bar exam, so that I could have a pet psychiatrist take
I
the stand.
specialize in pet. You know this is going to be a specialist.
That is
They're going to
unbelievable.
specialize in this area.
I think the fact that you would go to the expense of hiring somebody
Yeah.
is proof that the cat or dog probably doesn't belong with you. You are too attached to it.
We do that with kids.
Of course we do it with kids. Human beings are different.
Some kids aren't worth it. Not a fan of certain kids. You know the ones I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
You know when you see them. It's like Supreme Court with porn. You know when you see it.
know when you see it.
You know when you see it.
So,
There's certain kids that you look at.
Jeff,
You're going.
you're saying
"Nah."
that in California, some kids are not as valuable as the pets that
Of course.
are in the same house?
I've had some really good dogs. And I know some of the dogs I had in my life were better than the public defender, juvenile clients I represented. You remember that, Craig?
No.
Yeah, Craig and I got to see the greatest spectrum of children in the world. Criminal kids.
No, we saw the very low end of
criminal
those kids.
Yeah,
criminal
those were great.
kids.
And those people who are mad at me right now, do me a favor. Just go down to the public defender's office and say, hey, listen, I'd like to tag along with the juvenile public defender for a day. And then you would exactly feel the way I'm saying.
Yeah, it's sad.
There's some crappy
it's
kids.
mostly the parents, though. It's not the kids.
Here's the thing.
For the most part.
You could be a crappy kid and have crappy parents. And you could learn from your crappy parents. Or sometimes DNA just makes you crappy. Some people are just dumb. You knew it. The kids would look at you. They had that look on their face. You go, yeah, you ain't going to make it. You can be mad at us all you want. Craig and I represented thousands of kids, and we actually fought for them. We did. While the group before us did not. The group before us hadn't tried a case in a year.
We actually did. We did care about them. Yeah. We did try to get them the best possible result
all the time.
We could. Yeah.
All the time. It didn't mean we didn't understand what we were dealing with. You know, some of these kids were tough. Some of these kids just, they like bad stuff. That was fun for them.
Well, the whole idea behind having a juvenile court is a lot of times the judge, and you're not supposed to say this out loud.
We'll do it.
You're not supposed to say it out loud.
We're going to do it.
But we're going to do it. A lot of times the law didn't matter.
Nope.
The judge's concern was, what can I do?
How can I help this kid?
To get this kid away from those dirtbag parents? Because if I can put him in a program and I can keep him from seeing his father and mother beat each other to the point where they're hospitalized every other weekend, I'm going to do that. If I can stop this kid from being with his dad who sells and is arrested for sale and delivery of crack cocaine every month, I'm going to do that.
Yep.
And a lot of times it wouldn't even matter what the evidence was. And that's why the judge would make the decision on whether or not the kid was guilty. He could only force the kid into those programs if he found him guilty of something.
So I know people are saying, well, a jury, normally juvenile cases aren't jury-based trials.
Can't be.
It depends on the state you're in, but normally
in Florida,
in Florida, that didn't happen. And I mean, I can't tell you how many trials I would have. I go, I won this. There's no way I didn't win it. Oh, he's guilty. You're going to go, what?
Well, yeah, we used to get depressed. And so what, was it Randy that came in and said, listen,
listen, guys, this is the way this works around here.
That's what Randy said.
He was an ex-Vietnam killer, Marine. I was in the Army, scared. This guy scared me. He had an oxygen tank, and he was...
Yeah, he told us that, listen, the only way the judge can get these kids away from these dirtbag parents is to find them guilty of something. So don't be depressed.
They were bad, too. Some of these kids... And you think adults lie? Oof, you can't beat a kid liar. Kid digs in.
Lie about everything.
Kid digs in. That's my friend Joey. Joey will tell you. Well, here's Joey's statement. Joey said you did. Joey's a liar. They used to have cameras. If they had cameras, they do have a camera. They fake. That's AI.
That's not me.
Everything's fake.
They weren't. No, we were so long ago, Jeff, that there was no such thing.
Oh, they said it. They faked AI. It. They faked it. They said it all the time. The camera. They faked it. No. Somebody messed with the camera. We didn't have AI, but somebody messed with the tape. That was the parents were worse. Parents, you and I would sit there and we'd have the father and the mother in there. And the mother was the one going crazy. And the father would just be sitting there with that look on his face. And the look was, I know he did it. That was the father always, and the mother was like, he wouldn't do this, my baby. And the father would go, yeah, he did it.
Yeah, he did it.
He did it. He'd like look at you. He goes, I know he did it, but I got to go home with her. I remember
one of your parents saying that to you. I got to go home.
I got to go home with this one. The mother was like,
I actually remember that.
You fired. I don't want you anymore. And I loved being fired.
Please fire me.
Please fire me. See, you're not forcing me to represent your child is more torture than you firing me.
Yes.
And it would only take 3 seconds for them to come running back to you because they didn't like the guy that the case went to.
Oh, it's Stookie?
Jeff, could you, I was wrong about my attitude. Oh, because you didn't like the crazy attorney you got. Ooh, I wish I could, but you conflicted me out. That's the one thing on TV they don't show, all the conflicts. where you're forced to nobody is forced to represent anybody. But somehow these people are always have these huge conflicts, and they're the ones fighting. Well, I know you killed my brother, but I'll still represent you. No, you can never give somebody something like that. And we had judges who would force us to represent people who they knew we had a conflict with because they just wanted that line to keep moving.
Oh yeah, there is an aspect of, hey, we got to move along.
I remember the worst conflict ever. This kid, they go, okay, Jeff, this is your client. I walk up there, and he had a fight with another kid. And I said, this kid only got in a fight because this other little kid was a little Nazi because he kept calling him racist stuff. The kid was a Nazi. This is the reason why this happened. The judge goes, okay, I'll give him this, this, and this. Next kid comes up. I look at his file. I'm going, oh, this is the kid I've been calling a Nazi for the last 10 minutes.
It's the other kid.
And the judge, I go, Your Honor, I just spent the better part of 10 minutes railing this kid. And the judge looked at me and goes, I don't see a conflict there. And I'm standing there looking at this file. I go, well, there's always another way to look at this, Your Honor. Everybody in that courtroom thought I was the biggest piece of crap. And the truth is, technically, I was at that moment because it made it look like I didn't believe what I was saying earlier. And that's just the way the law goes. I mean, you don't want to be in that position, and you shouldn't be in that position. If you can't represent somebody without an even inch of an issue, you need to go. And sometimes you are the last resort. That's the only reason why you don't have to go.
Zealous advocacy is what they call it. We are required to display that when we represent our clients. And we can't do that if we're blaming both sides of a fight.
I lose it. Craig and I have been trying cases together for 3 decades. And he knows it. I have zero ability some days to see that line where you stop fighting. He grabbed me by the pants one time. I got up, sat me back down. I get hot when I'm in there. And, that's never been my issue. Zealous representation is not the problem. The problem is, sometimes that line, like I got in trouble with that judge in Tennessee, and we were driving home.
Which time?
Well, you know the one. When we were driving home,
multiple.
Well, when we were driving home, we were driving back to the Airbnb, and we had, we still had a couple days left. You go, you're going to have to apologize tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. You need to apologize.
What did I say to that guy? What did I say to that judge? Because it was all day he was doing it. All day he was beating me to death.
Yeah.
And he goes, it was his last ruling. I go, oh, you think that surprises me, Your Honor?
No, he said, I'm greatly offended. The judge said to you, I'm greatly offended by that position because you were accusing him of being less than impartial.
Okay.
And that you're not supposed to do that even when it's obvious that they are less than impartial. That's a big no-no.
It was my cousin Vinny. I was getting my cousin Vinny there.
You got a cousin Vinny moment, yes.
Moments all day.
You had a cousin Vinny trial.
And all I remember was, I said, I'm surprised when he ruled against me. He gave me that look. I'm going, like, you thought you think I thought you could rule with me? I was livid, and you were livid too, but you know.
And you kind of apologized, sort of.
Yeah, the next day.
You didn't say, I'm sorry. What did you say? I regret that it went that way.
I regret sometimes that I'm more passionate, that I take these, I'm a little too passionate.
Well, he was very gracious too. He actually said that he had lost.
I forgave you after I got home. That's what he said.
No, he said, as soon as I got to the car, I was over. So
okay. But he ruled in our favor a lot the next day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were right a lot the next day.
Well, it didn't. We were right the first day.
Well,
we were a lot of right. That was that same day they got in all the past criminal stuff. That was a bad day. That was a ridiculous day. That's some of the problems you have. That, there's sometimes these courts are clearly biased, and you have to swing as hard as you can sometimes, and probably harder than you should. And sometimes that's what it takes. But yeah, I got my own issues. Today we got journalist, talk show host, and author Chris Mathews. Chris, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I got to tell you, this is such a pleasure. I'm like blown away. I've watched your career for so many years, and always the next question is, what's next? Are you getting a new show, new book? What do we have going on?
Well, I got to get this one sold, so I'm doing that with you. Sell this book. I've been very lucky with writing books about the Kennedys, Jack and Bobby, and they they seem to reach something, and maybe people my generation, somewhat a little younger, they do look back to that era positively, and the civil rights era, the Cuban Missile Crisis of all things. They think we really had something going there. We really seem to have a national spirit, and trying to recover it again. I think we're really trying to recover it. It's not. Bobby lost election. He lost a primary in Oregon. I tell you, he accepted it completely. He said, maybe I should go back to New York and fight for black people. Why? Maybe this is not what I should be doing. This empathy for himself, recognition that he had problems, was really extraordinary in our politics. It's not like today we have a bully who's president who can basically say, I'm always right, and I always win elections. Bobby would admit when he lost an election, and admit when he was wrong. He'd say, I didn't lose a lot of sleep over black civil rights before I was attorney general. And he said he was for the Vietnam War until he had to run and defend it. He was an unusual politician. He admitted his defeats and his mistakes.
You know, the one thing I know, you and I have the benefit of not growing up with cell phones. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have everything. In fact, a lot of times I think the American people lived in what we'll call ignorant bliss, where the only information we got was what a newspaper told us or what a host would tell us. I mean, do you think we missed those times?
Well, I'll tell you what's going on. This is terrible. I was in New York last week. I asked the woman at the desk at the hotel I was staying at, I said, where can I get a newspaper? Where can I get a newspaper? I can't tell you. There are no newspapers. Nowhere in New York City can you get the New York Post or the New York Times. They don't exist. There are no papers at the newsstands. Are not newsstands. They're candy stores. They don't sell newspapers anymore. It's rotten. And in small towns of America, I was out campaigning, covering the campaign in 2024. And I got to tell you, these small towns don't have newspapers. They don't have any conversation. They're arid. They're empty of ideas and thinking. They don't talk about local issues, or it's just anger. And I asked the guy how he's going to vote. He says, "How are you going to vote?" It's all fighting words, and it just is. And it works to this president's success so far. And but I mean, they used to remember something called gift shops. Every small town had a gift shop. If you bought little doodads for somebody for a special occasion, a birthday or something, or anniversary, it doesn't exist anymore. It's all at Walmarts and stuff somewhere out of town. And there's no culture. I don't want to be too sophisticated about it, but there's no culture in small towns right now.
Well, the hard thing is, I write too, and people don't read anymore. Only people from my generation. You're in your 20s, you don't read anymore. You get all your information off of Apple News or a clip coming across your feed. I mean, how do we go back to the times where we want to be educated?
Okay, we're watching Steve Colbert or you're watching Jimmy Kimmel. How do they know the joke? How do they understand the setup to the joke? I mean, they all laugh. They all laugh in rhythm and the cadence is all there. But I said, wait a minute, where did you learn about that issue? How do you know about Epstein and the dossier or whatever? How do you know about, do you read the paper? How do you know? They must pick it up in clips and just instantaneous stuff, but it's not long term.
I mean, I was doing stand-up the other night, and I'm watching everybody, and all you have to do is mention somebody. You mention Trump, you mention Epstein, you mention Biden, and people just go nuts. They just go nuts. Yeah,
I know. They don't know. My wife always warns me. She says, they don't know who Tip O'Neill is.
No.
I worked for him for 6 years. They don't know who he was. I don't know. I remind them of who he was, but I'm not sure they have a fresh memory. Jack Kennedy used to say that the reason he campaigned early, why he would go out early to campaign, was because people forget things. Like, why do you think people advertise Coca-Cola? Everybody knows there's Coca-Cola. They know what it is, what it tastes like. You have to remind them of it regularly. You have to constantly remind people of a product like Coca-Cola, because that's how they remind themselves of it. Because people's memories are so short. And that's what Kennedy said,
Well, it's true. I mean, you deal with people all the time. I can't tell you, I try cases all over the country, and juries are not sophisticated. You basically have to feed it to them 50 times before they hear it.
Yeah, but I guess that's what we have to do. I guess that's the nature of the business we're in right now, reminding us. But I think I want to remind people of Bobby Kennedy, because what's happening today, we have a guy out there saying, don't get vaccinated. Welcome back measles. Welcome back polio. There's no memory that, hey, we had a guy named Jonas Salk. We had a guy who magically came up with a solution to polio. And we ought to remember that and get our shots, when I was in the Peace Corps over in Africa, one thing, the African kids loved getting shots because when they got a needle put in their arm, it hurt. And they knew that's how it worked. That's going to help me because it hurts. And if it hurts me, it's going to be good for me. And now we have a guy going around saying, don't do that. Well, that's a little wacky.
It's definitely something. And I mean, when you're writing this book and you're going, I'm writing a book about the father of this guy who's running around saying what he's saying. I mean, does it affect you when you're writing, or do you go, I don't even have to think about that?
Well, I made a point when I wrote the book and finished it to call him up. I got a phone number from somebody, and I got him on his private line, and I say, I just wrote a book about your dad. And I knew him from his environmental days. And it's a positive book, and I don't mention you. No controversy. And I hung up. It's like a strange kind of a mystery to tell him about a book. I'm sure he knows about the book, but he's a strange guy. Let's put it that way. Strange guy.
Now, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, we can't talk to each other anymore. If you do talk to somebody on the other side, people think you're a traitor. I mean, when did we stop wanting to educate ourselves?
Well, the word traitor's been thrown around because somebody wants to hear more about the Epstein files. They're going to vote on that today. And traitor's a word that shouldn't be used that much. I mean, you're opposed to your government. You're opposed to your country. Even if we disagree about the way we should govern ourselves, I was a Capitol cop, and I was on the defensive side when the mob tried to destroy the Capitol. And I remember a guy said to me, what do you think the little man, what moves the little man? Why does he care about things? And he said, because his government, he cares about the country. He cares about, it's all he's got. So I think the people on the MAGA side have a great patriotism of a kind. I don't think they're fully thoughtful about democracy or how members of Congress have to vote for themselves and stand up for what they believe. But there's a real kind of bullying going on now in our country. Them feeling that they have to do what the president wants. Just a fact. And that goes to Speaker Johnson and Senator Thune. They do what they're told, which is scary.
What really bothers me is the hundreds of millions of dollars and potentially billions of dollars it takes to get elected, because you're going to have to, how can I say it, pay that back sometime.
Yeah, that is a rotten deal. I look at Schumer and I go, that guy's, he's brain dead. He spends so much time raising money on the phone, constantly raising money. How can a guy have that IQ? They went to Harvard and Yale and everything. How does this guy not have an IQ? He seems to not have one. I think he just spends all his time raising money. What else? What explains the deterioration of his brain? I mean, he's obviously popular among his senators. The Democrats vote for him. But I think when all you do is raise money, they have I had a guy working for me, and he said his job was to drive the van from the Democratic headquarters over to the Capitol whenever there's a vote. And he had to bring the new freshman members of Congress over to vote. And the rest of the time, they were out there raising money. In other words, their main job as members of Congress was raising money. And that's what he did. I mean, this guy's job was to just bring them over to vote once in a while. But the rest of the time, they're sitting there looking out the window at the train going by, raising money all day. and they have a control when they what's it called? A manager who sits next to them and makes sure they don't hang up. They have to keep on the phone raising money. Is that sick?
It's painful because, I've been around long enough and I've been involved with some government, and I know you have to pay those favors back. And I think the number is like 7 times what the donation is, whether it be helping out with regulation, whether it be contracts, whether it be something. I mean, these people aren't donating millions of dollars because they care about democracy.
No, they want something.
And we forget that. And
I think that's what some are generally interested in Israel or something like that, but a lot of them just want particular things, and they let you know what that is.
I mean, the tough thing for me is when I think about that both parties are run by their far poles, and that, the people in the middle don't get heard sometimes.
Well, they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
That's what I think. What's the average person give to a politician? Nothing. The average person doesn't give any money to a politician. And people might kick in $5 or $10, but the big money comes in from the trade associations, from the PACs, political action committees. And if you want to get reelected over and over again, I mean, look at Bobby Casey from Pennsylvania. He had to run for reelection a number of times. He ended up running out of money eventually. He runs against David McCormick, who had all the money in the world. And I go, well, that must be really depressing. They have to go out and find campaign workers and then find money. Meanwhile, you're voting in the public interest every day. Well, you're not going to raise a whole lot of money voting in the public interest. You're not.
No, it's a difficult thing to imagine that our country runs like that. And right now, I think the worst thing that happens to our country is when we don't have an enemy, we turn on ourselves.
Yeah, that's true. And I think we do have an enemy, though. We have Russia right now. Russia going after Ukraine. I don't think we need to fight Venezuela and countries like that. And we have to spend money on Argentina. Trump ran. One effective thing he argued in his campaigns was stupid wars. Stop fighting stupid wars and stop spending money on these things. He was right. We weren't getting anywhere in Afghanistan or Iraq. We weren't getting anywhere. We're just feeding the PR.
There's a lot of money in war. We forget that guns and bullets. Somebody's getting paid.
Yeah. Well, Bobby Kennedy was against all that. He was against fighting in Vietnam and the American war in Vietnam. He wanted that to end. And maybe if he'd gotten in there, the war would have ended a lot faster.
When you decide to write a book, for example, like you've written a lot about the Kennedys, I mean, I assume as you're writing this book, it's romantic. You feel like I miss those times and I wish people could see what I saw.
I think you're right. I think there's a lot of romanticism in writing a book. Because, there's a lot. Why do we love World War II? Because we were on the good guys' side. And, people of the most popular movies in the world are World War II movies. They always will be, and especially in European theater. We like being the good guys. In fact, I write in this book on Bobby, Lessons from Bobby, I say, we'll be great when we try our best to be good. We're the good guys. And we were with civil rights, that's for sure. And we did the right thing.
People always ask me about when something becomes a dinosaur. For example, when does things become the milk bottle? You mentioned newspapers. Now we're going from nightly news to podcasts. I think we just move and we have to adapt to it.
Well, I grew up with Walter Cronkite and Eric Seberide on CBS. And I loved going to the Student Union every night, 1968, early 68, and watching Eric Seberide comment on the war and comment on Bobby Kennedy and Gene McCarthy. Those were heroic times. And you had good guys trying to change national policy. And you knew who they were. And you knew who the other guys were, too. And you're right, it was romantic.
Now, unlike a lot of journalists, you have been in the belly of the beast with Tip O'Neill and everything. Did the level of power you saw, whether it be in private industries or in politics, did it ever give you pause? Did it ever go, God, this is scary?
No, I mean, I think what Tip and to some extent Reagan agreed upon was remarkable. They were both older men, and Tip was older than Reagan even, and they wanted to save Social Security, for example, and they had to figure out a way to do it. And it was almost like a kidnapping case. They had to do it in a way that they would not screw each other, and they did that. But Tip would do things like when Reagan was going over to meet Gorbachev, basically end the Cold War, he would say to his people, back up Reagan. We only have one country. So they would agree that way. It was like, it doesn't seem like it's possible today.
Well,
but he did.
I got to tell you, Chris, this was an amazing conversation. If you told me a year ago you and I'd be talking, I'd be going, wow, I'm a fortunate guy. So good luck with the book. It's called Lessons from Bobby, 10 Reasons Why Robert Kennedy Still Matters, and it's already out. So I can't wait to see it. Well, that wraps up today's show. I'm attorney Jeff Kaufman. Thanks for joining us. Special thanks to my two co-hosts, my good friend, professional comedian James John, and my law partner, Craig Lind. This show is sponsored by Kaufman Lind. If you or someone you know has been in an accident, contact us at 407-500-JEFF or 407-500-5333 for a free consultation, or visit us at whenyouneedus.com.